Well, good morning, everybody. It is Dave and Bo. It is a beautiful Saturday morning here. In fact, it's a little bit bright. It is Saturday the 6th of September, 2025. Bo is curling up on the grass there. We're going to cruise around the garden, see what's going on. We've had a really incredibly hot and humid week. It reached up over 102 degrees here. And on that day, it rained for about 30 minutes. It was ugly and nasty, and I'm so glad that's over. So nights are back down into the high 60s, and days are cruising right in the low 90s now. So hopefully, they say next week, this coming week, we're gonna be in the mid 80s, but we will see, because they've lied to us before. But anyway, being this far into September now, we can kind of project out a little bit more and see that at least for the next 10 days, we're not going to have any really hot heat spikes or anything like that. In fact, 10 days from now, it's still supposed to be high 80s and right around 90 degrees. So that is a good thing. One of the things that's like looking really good is the jasmine here. And this is, as I cruise in to the picture myself, this is the Grand Duke Jasmine. It's a variety of sandback jasmine, which is native to the Philippines. And normally it's only a single petal blossom, but this is a double, and it's from Monrovia Nursery Company. I've had it in the yard for about 3 years now. I used to always sell them retail. They are not the prettiest plant, I will tell you that right now. But as far as fragrance goes, it's incredible. And it is a fairly light bloomer. I mean, you can see the bloom there and the bloom off to the left, but there's usually, and also a bloom here. I mean, that's like the most explosive blooms there are. Usually just a handful at a time. Other things that are going on, I can't wait for fall. I can't wait for the chance to cut back roses and to cut back that Leonotis, pruning the fruit trees and everything like that, planting fall bulbs, all that is right around the corner. Look at that sweet pea shrub. It's just like, bring on the heat and humidity. We don't care. Also, look at all the blooms on that almond bush there. That's doing really, really well. I'm probably gonna raise the skirt on it a little bit, make it more of a tree form. Last year, I just cut it back so horrifically, and in the wintertime, it just did not recover well. Got some parrots going over. Back here, I can't wait to get into, start pruning things back, getting rid of all that Bermuda grass that's creeped in. I did buy some cool things last week. I don't know if I told you in the video or not, but from Shriner's Bulbs. Speaking of bulbs, we've got, look at that dahlia coming up here. Shriner's Bulbs is out of Oregon, and they specialize particularly in irises and daylilies. And I bought some of each. They had a year-end sale, and so I bought a number of varieties of each. I'm particularly looking toward the daylilies. I got some cool colors of those. I know where I'm going to plant those. And then the bearded iris, I don't know where I'm going to put yet. I have no idea. Maybe right over here. The Japanese maples definitely got cooked a little bit. But compared to how the dogwood was here a year ago, and this is a plant that's lived without cover, any type of cover for a year, this has held up really, really nicely. So next year, be more mature plant, roots further into the ground, and that's going to do really well next year. So the Westringia, we won't look at the dogwood underneath that cover, but hopefully just maybe another 30 days we won't need the covers on anything. I spent some time in the front yard pulling weeds, remulching, edging the driveway, things like that this past week. Just light work because the weather was so hot. The magnolia, that's holding up pretty well. As are these Japanese maples over here. Definitely not as crispy, definitely not as much in the sun either. They're pretty protected here. So just a little bit of tip burn, that's about it. Last night I got in and pruned back the damaged leaves on the clivia. It was really, really ugly. So I'm hoping once again that with time and maybe one more year, the Chiananthus tree will fill in and shade that enough. So I'm going to cover that again probably for another week or two, just because we do have some days in the 90s, and even right now it's going to get some sun for a few hours. So I'm going to cover that up, but I did want to say, hey, it's still there, still looking pretty good. Really still a lot of lush green leaves and everything, and this is a very, very hardy plant. I got it for free. It was a landscape sample for a landscape job that the company I was working for was bidding on, and they just had some plants left over that they just left at the site, and they're all like, you know, we don't need to take these back, you guys can have them, and I took them. So this was a free 5-gallon container, and back in the day that would have been like $25, $35. Today easily $60. So and plus all those years of growing. It looks like Bo has decided to join us too. That's awesome. I did cut back some of the ivy here. Again, trying to get rid of any place where we can have some nesting of some little creatures. In the back, the Heliotropium ecuador is about to come into bloom. The Pittosporum in front, I just cut back. Makawa Yetsubusa is the variety of Japanese maple. Never thought I'd be able to say that, but that's done really well this year as well. What else? The plumeria never did bloom this year, so kind of bummed about that. So is Bo, but you know, we're gonna get over it. I do need to cut back the Shasta daisies here, and probably can cut those almost all the way to the ground. And let's see, another Japanese maple, of course that's Shishigashira. Everything else is just about the same. I'm always surprised how well the impatiens bloom. These are still somewhere buried in that fern. Look at how giant the fern is. And by the way, that's a 1-gallon fern 2 years ago. So if you don't think ferns can grow that quickly, you're wrong, they can. I need to go in and really thin that out. Again, probably not until another month or two when the cooler weather is here. The Amaryllis belladonna, interesting thing, and it did this last year. These two bloomed first. I've got 4 sets of Amaryllis belladonna. And then I have like this set over here, and then there's going to be another one somewhere over here. So this one's about done. This one's still looking pretty good. And then I also cleaned out this area here, aka the hospital, or the place where I just haven't planted plants yet. So just pulled out all the weeds, got this nice and cleaned up. The blood lily, you can see the blood lily is still looking fantastic. Look at the bulbs on those things, it's amazing. This is the Aesculus tree, Buckeye tree that I got. Remember that seed from the school last fall? So it's getting ready to go dormant. It's done terrific this first year, 1 foot in height. I'm super thrilled. I can't tell you how excited I was that this one actually sprouted. Other things, we got the Chamaecyparis saguaro, We've got the little Joe Japanese maple. In the far back, we've got Japanese maple Bronze Age, and then this one here with the variegated foliage, that is Geisha Gone Wild. Look at those beautiful New Guinea impatiens, and even the Trichelium, that is blooming again. So that's what's happening this week. Not a whole lot. I should take you out to the front yard just to show you some stuff real quick. All right, so here we are in the front yard. This is what I did over this past week, was clean out the area around the gardenia here. Weeded everything, cut back the bearded iris. That's a bird of paradise. Cleaned this really long stretch of planter right outside the house, and did prune these bearded irises here at the very beginning. Over on the other side, not a whole lot. We got gigantic Cape honeysuckle that needs to be pruned back, and the same thing with this multi-tiered ligustrum. Edging, did do the edging. It's about 70 feet of driveway there. So got that clean, got the front of the house cleaned up as well. Mulched the planter bed area around the light. And a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you've seen this since, but I did cut back the ficus as well as the stephanotis vine and some of the fortnight lilies underneath the ficus as well. So that's about it. There was a windstorm. Did I mention that this last week? And it did take some new branches off of the liquid amber. It's not a new liquid amber, but it was just cut back to the trunk. And so the branches that are coming up are pretty weak. And you know, a branch like this probably will need to be immediately cut off. And upset me because I had everything pruned just perfectly, but so is gardening, right? That is the way. I think that's about it. All right, I will send you back to the backyard. The regular magnolia held up in the heat just fine, and you are seeing some tip burn, which is much more common now. So when you have something like this, of course, it depends on the plant. This is something that when you see it on a Magnolia solangiana, it's very, very common. Unfortunately, it's unsightly and all of that, but you can see that compared to the rest of the plant, you know, the rest of the plant's doing really, really well. In usually 5-gallon containers, the whole plant, you know, looks like this. It looks unsightly. So, sometimes, who knows, you may be able to get a deal from the nursery, but we know that it is just common physiology with the plant. But again, depending on the plant, remember, some plants will show salt burn or chemical burn like that. So Magnolia solangianas, tulip trees, they're totally fine to be looking like that. All right, let's take a look at Bo. Once again, here she comes. And hope you have a very happy week gardening.